everything. Try everything.
Chapter 6. Pride and Prejudice and Rabbits.
Hands, put your empty hands in mine. And scars, show me all the scars you hide. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you.
Judy woke up when the nurse of the morning shift walked into Nick's room. The look of the young sheep was friendly but also somewhat dispraising when she seen the rabbit in Nick's bed. "Good morning, Miss Hops. Did the Mr. Wilde wake up yet?" She noted some data from the monitors into a patient file, then turned around to Judy, who had climbed out of the bed and onto the chair again. "No, not that I know of. I'm sorry," Judy answered, a bit tired and sad. "This is not uncommon, Miss Hops. Just be patient. The doctor in charge will be here in about an hour." "Okay, can you tell me what time it is?" "It's 7 minutes past 6. The nurse gave her a short smile, then left the room quietly. Judy looked at Nick concerned, stroking his cheek gently. Then her eyes travelled over the rest of the room. There were no windows. Except for the monitors and various medical emergency devices, only a small table was in the corner of the room. On it was a glass with water and the flowers Evelyn brought yesterday. Their common bag was lying under the table. The corresponding plastic chair for the table Judy took beside Nick's bed, now sitting on it. Opposite the table was a small basin, a mirror, and a soap and germicide dispenser. The heart monitor beeped quietly but frequently, the transfusion still dripping every few seconds. On the whole, the room was just as clinical and sterile as Judy would have imagined a hospital room to be. "Hey, Nick!" She turned to the fox again, enclosing his paw in hers and speaking quietly with a soft voice. "I do not know if you can hear me, but I once read that patients in a coma can recognize familiar voices. I just want you to know that I am here, and that I will not leave your side, so you'd better not try to steal yourself away to where I cannot follow you." Judy sighed, stroking her thumb over the back of his paw. "Amy has drawn you a cute picture. Oh, and she has picked some flowers for you. I put them into a glass with water. Hopefully you are not allergic to them." She smiled lightly. "Evelyn thinks you are cute. She is one of my younger sisters and a really close friend. I think you will like her. She is very similar to me, you know. But don't get any naughty ideas. I am keeping an eye on you." Rubbing her muzzle over the back of his hand, Judy buried her nose into Nick's fur. "Bogo said you can take a day or two off until you are again strong enough for your cheeky comments during his morning briefing." She snickered quietly. "Joking aside, Bogo and the rest of the precinct are worried and send their best wishes for you. I even took some leave days. Oh, and Clauhauser said he will send you a gift basket. I hope it's not only donuts, or you two will soon share the same dress size." A single tear ran from Judy's eye over her cheek. "I am so sorry, Nick. It is all my fault. It was me who caused the wagon to go rampant. I should never have persuaded you to visit my parents out of the blue so soon, and I should not have given that stupid interview. And it was also my idea to participate in the competition in the first place. If we had done regular patrols on that day, none of this would have happened. Please forgive me, Nick. I am just a stupid bunny, but I am your stupid bunny, so please forgive me and wake up." Judy started to weep again, her muzzle pushed into the blanket covering Nick. Dr. Greenwood stood in the doorframe and cleared his throat. Judy snuffled and turned her head to him. "Oh, Dr. Greenwood, I didn't notice you." "It is okay, Judy. I hope you have slept for a while." He walked to the other side of the bed, checking Nick's medical journal first, then listened to his heartbeat with a stethoscope. 2 hours, maybe 3. I am accustomed to it." "Just like me, medical staffs and police officer schedules are very similar, I bet, but neither of us should push it too hard." He put his stethoscope down and noted some data onto the journal. Then he reached for the bandage on Nick's head but hesitated. I will have to take a look at his wounds, change the bandages and so forth. Maybe you want to go to the cafeteria for as long as it takes? Judy shook her head and leaned back on her chair but still held Nick's paw with hers.
If it is okay with you, I would like to stay.
The doctor thought for a moment, then nodded and continued to unwind the bandage around Nick's head. He finished the moment when the same nurse from an hour ago entered the room with a tablet containing gauze bandages, a dark unction, a bottle with tincture, pads and other medical accessories.
Excuse me, Miss Hobbs, but I need to get to your side of the bed to assist.
Judy nodded, slipping from the chair, giving Nick's paw a last rub with her chin and walked slowly to the table. She bent forwards and searched the backpack for a fresh shirt. The doctor and the nurse were busy, so Judy quickly changed her shirt, then walked to the sink. She splashed some cold water into her face, drying herself with some paper towels. Then she walked back to the foot of the bed, watching Dr. Greenwood currently swabbing Nick's abdominal wound with the tincture and pads.
How is he?
She asked nervously, hardly able to take a look. The wound looks good, no inflammation so far, and it has started to heal already. The same for his head wound. The latter was already bandaged with new gauze.
So why does he not wake up then?
Judy's voice was half pleading, half nervous. As I told you yesterday, head wounds can be tricky. At the moment his body needs every bit of energy for recovery, and staying unconscious aids it. He smiled in her direction. But you can still talk to him. This will not do any harm, and maybe he even senses that you are nearby. You just have to be a little more patient. The nurse handed him some gauze and bandages, then Dr. Greenwood applied them and looked satisfied. We will change them again this evening, and give him a new transfusion at... He looked at his pocket watch. 8 o'clock. The nurse made some notes, then nodded and left the room. Judy walked to the chair again and sat down, immediately reaching for Nick's paw again.
Thank you, Dr. Greenwood.
Don't mention it, Judy. I have been your family's doctor for at least 35 years, and of course I will give special attention to your partner too.
The old rabbit smiled mildly.
I just wish my parents would see Nick as part of the family too.
Judy looked slightly angry but also worried and sad. It was really difficult to account for a specific emotion in her face right now, and even Judy wasn't exactly sure how she felt about the situation. For the last 12 hours she distracted herself from the previous argument. Nick was her current top priority. Dr. Greenwood looked inquiringly to Judy, not sure if he should ask any further questions. I did not ask about the accident in the first place yesterday, and it can wait until Nick has woken up, but I have to fill an accident report for requesting his medical records. Your parents did not... He stopped discreetly.
What? No, they did no harm to him. Physically, that is.
When the old rabbit didn't respond, Judy added inertly,
They threw a tantrum the moment they realised Nick and I are not only partners on the force, but also dating. One of my brothers lost it completely, and we had a really bad argument.
Her look went to Nick and Judy stroked her free paw over his cheek.
Nick left the house, and shortly after the accident with the wagon happened. I am not totally sure what happened exactly, but as far as I could reconstruct, he prevented the wagon from running over one of my youngest sisters.
Then he is a real hero, my dear. You can be proud of him.
I am!
Judy smiled.
And I am really overjoyed that Amy was not injured. But...
Judy hesitated.
What is it, Judy? Is something bothering you?
It is all my fault.
She started crying again.
I set off the wagon by accident during a punch-up with my brother. I not only nearly injured my sibling, but I am responsible for...
She made a gesture to Nick but could not say it aloud.
Oh, my dear. Judy.
Dr. Greenwood quickly walked around the bed and put his arm around Judy's shoulders.
It was only an accident, and Nick will recover completely, I am sure. Don't burden yourself with the fault for everything. You are overthinking this.
He handed her a handkerchief and patted her back while she wiped her tears away.
Thanks.
It is okay, but I have to go now. There are more patients waiting for me during my ward round. I will drop by again at noon.
He turned around to walk to the door, then spoke again.
And Miss Hobbs, you have to eat something for breakfast. Medical order.
He winked, then left the room. Judy sat by Nick's bed the whole afternoon and did not leave it for a minute. She was not really hungry and only ate an apple she had put in the backpack. Time was creeping by slowly. The nurse came by a few times checking some data on the monitors, but she never really talked to Judy. Dr. Greenwood also dropped by around 1 o'clock, but he only had time for an examination of Nick and was not as chatty as he was in the morning. She still blamed herself for the incident, and she had no idea what she should do. Choosing between her family and Nick? No, that was not an option. She could not do that, and she was sure her parents would never demand such a thing from her. Judy wiped those thoughts away and addressed herself to Nick again.
Did I ever tell you when I arrested some crops when I was a child for growing in the wrong direction?
She smiled softly and talked about some childhood memories.
I told you that she would spend the night at the hospital at Nick's side,
Evelyn stated to her disgruntled father and her worried mother after breakfast.
Of course her bed is unused. She should not stay in the hospital for so long, or she will catch some disease herself there,
Bonnie Hops said while clearing the table.
Yeah, some rare fox diseases,
Joshua said, standing in the doorframe of the kitchen. Stu did not say anything and just looked out of the window. He appeared to be contemplative.
Oh, and of course because of your constant ranting, Josh.
Evelyn stared icily at her older brother but turned around to their parents again.
Why are you giving Judy such a hard time? Do you really not notice how much she is hurt by it?
Evelyn seemed to be sad and disappointed.
Judy always was so positive and in a good mood, come what may. Even when she quit the ZPD half a year ago, she wasn't as depressed as she is now. How can you defend this, Fox? You don't even know him,
Joshua said bitchy, their parents still keeping silent.
And whose fault is that? They came for a visit this weekend so we could become acquainted with him, but you prejudged him the second he entered this house.
Evelyn was not as loud as Judy was yesterday, but she totally flew into a frenzy.
He is a fox! He is her partner and boyfriend!
He made her completely mad, perhaps seduced her into rotting and—
Joshua!
Their mother stopped him.
Mind your temper, there are kids in the house. What is the matter with you, Josh? You know what a bullhead Judy can be. Do you really think anybody could force her? Maybe she is not mad, but in love,
Evelyn said.
There is no difference,
Joshua stated, frustrated.
Now you are fudging.
Evelyn smirked but immediately looked serious again.
Do you think Judy does not know what she is doing too, Mom?
Bonnie looked at her daughter embarrassed while playing with a cleaning cloth in her paws.
No, but... No buts, Mom! Do you trust her?
Her mother, visibly uncomfortable with her daughter interrogating her like this, finally said,
Yes I do. So what is the problem then? Dad?
Evelyn now looked at her father, who still looked out of the window in silence.
Great,
she stated, frustrated.
I was so happy to see Judy again. We all only get to see her at rare intervals because of her job, and now maybe even more rarely. It is her life, and she is old enough to do whatever she likes.
That does not mean we have to approve of it, Stu finally said without turning around. Evelyn sighed.
I don't get it. Nick helped Judy with her first and all-dominant case, saved her life. He is an officer at the CPD. He is really handsome and seems to be a nice guy. Not to mention Judy is in love with him and he seems to treat her really well. And he even saved Amy yesterday without hesitation and regardless of his own well-being. What is it, for Carrot's sake, aside from his species, that makes you so reserved against him? You are too young, my dear. You cannot put his species apart so lightly,
her mother said carefully.
Why not? We are still all mammals. The only problems are in your head.
It's morbid, Joshua stated. Foxes and rabbits are natural enemies.
1,000 years ago, Josh. Back then everything was totally different. Take a look at your history books. A lot of other animals were our enemies back then, but not today. We have developed. Well, most of us.
A sly grin was on Evelyn's face while watching Joshua.
By the way, Mom,
Evelyn had one last ace up her sleeve.
Some of us want to bake a blueberry cake later.
Her mother looked at her but didn't say anything. Then Stu interfered. For the fox?
For Nick,
Evelyn corrected him.
He loves our blueberries almost as much as Judy as far as she told me, and I believe it is the least we can do to thank him for protecting Amy.
Now Stu Hops was grabbed by his pride for his farming products. Being a fox or not, someone loving his blueberries was always welcomed. Clean up the kitchen afterwards, he said while turning around and facing his wife, and maybe we can make a hamper with different vegetables and fruits too, Bon. Bonnie nodded, smiling lightly, and Evelyn turned to Josh with a sly grin Nick would be proud of. She really was very similar to Judy. Joshua just snorted contemptuously, then left the kitchen.
As the clock strikes midnight, both let the magic potion's effects wear off. They revert to their original forms, he as a gazelle and she as a lion. After all, the king, her father, gives his blessing to the marriage and apologizes for all and everything he did before. They both forgive him for his earlier behavior, and the party resumes, and they all lived happily ever after.
Judy finished reading the book she originally brought for her younger siblings. It was a classic fairy tale about a lion and a gazelle falling in love with each other, her parents not approving and trying to trick her into marrying another lion. But the gazelle bought a magic potion from a fairy godmother, transforming him into a grand lion. It was the only book Judy took with her, and after telling each and every childhood story she could remember, she read it to him aloud. There was a quiet harumph at the door and Judy turned her head in surprise. Evelyn stood in the doorframe smiling at her.
That was a nice story,
she said to Judy, taking a few steps into the room and letting the door shut close.
How long have you been standing there?
Judy asked, somewhat irritated. It was always difficult to sneak up on her, but in this silent room it should be impossible.
Quite a while, sis. I did not want to interrupt you, and I like fairy tales.
Evelyn winked and spread her arms.
Come here, Juju.
Judy slid off the chair, walked to her sister and hugged her firmly.
How is he?
She asked with a short look to Nick.
He hasn't improved. The wounds are healing, but he has not woken up yet. Dr. Greenwood says it may take a while with head wounds, but I am anxious nevertheless.
Judy sounded worried. She looked sad and tired. Evelyn put her paw under Judy's chin and pulled her face in her direction.
And what about you? You really look terrible, Juju. Exactly what a woman likes to hear from her sister.
Judy smiled lightly, but Evelyn shook her head.
Come on, Judy, how much sleep have you had since yesterday? And have you had anything to eat? I've slept for a few hours, and I had some fruit earlier,
Judy said, deciding it would be best to not be too specific with the facts.
Some fruit, eh?
Evelyn eyed her up closely.
Well, I brought some blueberry cake I made with the siblings today. It is for Nick, but as long as he is still asleep, you can have a piece. We always can bake another one for him.
The younger rabbit walked back to the door where a bag was standing on the floor. She took it and carried it to the small table at the opposite corner of the room.
Come here, sis.
Somewhat grudgingly, Judy scuffed her feet to her sister, looking at the contents of the bag. There was a blueberry cake, as she was already told, some magazines, 2 bottles of carrot juice, paper plates, napkins, more picked up flowers, a crocheted blanket with a pattern of flowers, a small pillow, a photo album and a small plush bunny. Evelyn took the latter from the bag and brought it to Nick, laying it at his side.
This is Mona, Annie's favourite doll. She will take care of Nicky while you are sleeping.
Evelyn winked at Judy.
And the flowers are from Annabelle this time. The cake was baked by me, Jaina, Sam, Fiona and Carl. A lot more wanted to help, but we created enough chaos with 5 rabbits baking a single cake.
Evelyn smiled to Judy, then added,
As you can see, your boyfriend has made quite a few fans. Oh, and I brought some magazines for you to read.
Judy smiled and was visibly affected. She started to tear up again, hugging her little sister.
Thank you, and everyone else.
Evelyn just patted Judy on her back and smiled.
Okay, but now you will eat a piece of cake, and after that you can take a shower. There are some open bathrooms including showers near the cafeteria.
Judy wanted to object, but Evelyn raised her paw.
I will sit here and watch Nick in the meantime, but we have to make sure that it is not you being smelly that keeps him unconscious.
Evelyn winked, amused about Judy's reaction.
Come on, I am eager to hear your judgment about the cake.
And with these words she took the blueberry cake out of the bag. Judy crouched down on the tiled floor, letting the hot stream of water run over her exhausted body. Not only was she tired, but also mentally exhausted. She and Nick had won third place in the biathlon about 60 hours ago. Previous to 36 hours, they were dancing and partying like there was no tomorrow. And in the last 24 hours, she had had a bad argument with her family, and Nick had been in an accident, and has been unconscious since then. How could her life change so quickly and abruptly? She had undergone her highest highs and her lowest lows in less than 60 hours. The rabbit straightened herself up, tilting her head backwards and letting the water pour onto her face. She had to talk with her parents in the near future. Studiously avoiding them would work for maybe another day or two, but in spite of everything, she loved her parents and her family, and she loved Nick. It had to be possible to reconcile both without letting anybody down. At least she hoped so. Choosing between her parents and Nick, this was not an option, and would be as impossible as choosing between her mother and her father. Nobody should demand this from her. She thought about the fairy tale. In the end, everyone always realises their mistakes and there is a happy ending. But her life was no fairy tale, and there was no author she could convince to write such a happy ending for her. She had to do it all by herself. With a sigh, Judy turned off the water, and after hesitating for a few seconds, she stepped out of the shower. There was a body-sized air blower big enough for animals triple her size. She switched it on, and a warm and steady airflow blew her fur dry within minutes. Judy closed her eyes and leaned against the wall. Evelyn was such a great relief to her. Most likely she had talked with their parents already, trying to convince them how absurd this whole argument was. That would make things much easier for Judy. Suddenly she missed living in Bunnyborough and seeing her siblings every day. She loved Zootopia and her job. She loved Nick and had quite a few friends in the big city. But there was none of her family, only short visits every few weeks or talking through muzzle call. This sudden realisation left a stale aftertaste, and frustrated she switched off the air blower. She quickly slipped into a fresh pair of underwear, pants and a shirt, bundled up her old clothes and walked outside the door of the public bathroom. In the lobby, Judy's gaze lingered on the mammals coming and going. Finally, she spotted the mammal she was looking for, took a deep breath, and walked towards the security ram near the entrance.
Excuse me,
Judy started, getting some indifferent looks from the guard.
I want to apologize for my bad manners yesterday, Mr.
She searched for his name tag.
Shepherd. My partner was in a critical state and I stood in my own light. My behaviour was unprofessional, especially attacking you. I will give you my staff number at the ZPT so you can submit an official complaint.
Judy went into her pocket to get her ID. Is your partner okay? Shepherd asked. His facial expression was now somewhat more friendly.
Dr. Greenwood said he will recover completely, but he has not woken up yet.
The rabbit sighed.
But that is no excuse for my behaviour. I am really sorry about that.
Maybe it is no excuse, but it makes it much more understandable, and I really appreciate that you apologised personally. Let's not talk about it further, and best wishes to your partner, Officer Hops. Ram shook hands with her, and Judy smiled a little. When Judy entered Nick's room, he was still lying unchanged in his bed. Evelyn was browsing one of the magazines she had brought for Judy. On her entering, Eve turned to her and smiled.
You look much better now, Juju. Thanks, the shower really was beneficial. Anything new about Nick? No, I am sorry.
Evelyn slid from the chair and made a few steps in Judy's direction, who put her old clothes into her backpack.
Judy, can we have a talk?
The older sister didn't look too enthusiastic, eventually noticing the undertone in Evelyn's voice.
I talked with Mom and Dad. Eve, please. I know I have to deal with it sooner or later, but I do not think I am ready for it yet.
Judy looked very exhausted and tired.
I can relate with you, sis.
Evelyn sighed and gave her sister a firm hug.
But you should know that Mom is in fact still arguable, but she only wants you to be happy with whomever that may be. And Dad, he just needs more time, I think.
Then she added with a sly smile,
Just try not to make out with Nick in front of him, but otherwise you two should be fine.
Judy smiled and laughed lightly, then hugged her sister again.
You are the best, Eve. Don't forget it when you are selecting the maid of honor for you two's wedding.
Now Judy laughed for the first time, winking to Evelyn.
Promise.
Evelyn stayed for a while to accompany Judy, the older one telling her sister a few funny stories she had experienced together with Nick and Zootopia. But after the evening ward round, she had to go, as she was only a regular visitor. Judy went to the cafeteria while the nurse changed Nick's bandages, getting herself a cup of tea and a sandwich. Finally, Nick and Judy were alone again. She sat on her chair, holding his paw between hers, but shortly after, her head sank onto the side of the bed and sleep overpowered her.
Nobody said it was easy.
It was not until the first ward round in the morning that Judy woke up again slowly from her deep sleep. There was some quiet mumbling near her, but she didn't want to wake up yet. She was having a beautiful dream with her in a splendid wedding dress, and the full Hops family, all relatives included, were there, cheering and smiling at her. Her father was walking down the aisle with her, where her grandfather Michael was waiting to espouse her to her fiancé, Nick. When she was standing beside him, he reached for her paw, holding it tight. The priest made his speech, and when he finally asked the magic words, Judy whispers,
Yes, I will.
"You want what, carrots?" Nick's voice asked.
What?
Judy was irritated. The dream faded away, even faster as she tried to hold it for just a few more seconds. Finally, she awoke, but refused to open her eyes yet. It was a nice feeling, Nick stroking the back of her hand. Then awareness struck her like lightning and she pulled her eyes open. The feeling of Nick stroking her hand was not only a dream, but he was really stroking it. She turned her head and grimaced because of the position she had fallen asleep in yesterday, but she did not sense any pain the moment her eyes met with Nick's, smiling at her. "Good morning, carrots." He spoke still somewhat weak, but he was finally awake.
Nick!
Judy jumped onto the bed, ignoring her aching muscles and hugging Nick firmly. Her eyes filled with tears of joy. She held his face in her paws and touched his nose with hers.